Hey there, doomer men and women across the planet, realists of all sorts and varieties. I'm going to get right to the news in case you needed any extra validation for building your contingency plans for the collapse of global industrial civilization. This video should help clarify that, and then I'll save comments afterwards. Global fossil fuel production plans far exceed climate targets, UN says. The headline reads from Reuters. Going into a little more detail, fossil fuel production in 2030 is set to be more than double the levels that are deemed consistent with meeting climate goals under the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. Specifically, those to be negotiated also in COP28. We need countries to commit to phase out to keep 1.5C goal alive. Yes, we're still talking like this. The report analyzed the 20 major fossil fuel producers and found they plan to produce in total around 110% more fossil fuels in 2030 than would be consistent with limiting the degree of warming to 1.5C. Get this, 69% more than is consistent with 2C. None of the 20 countries have committed to reduce coal, oil, and gas production. So all the protesting, the rebellion, the tying yourself to the banks, all this shit does nothing. You need to start literally chopping off heads at this point, okay? Because none of it did anything. Analyze account for 82% of fossil fuel production and 73%, including, the report said it included Australia, China, Norway, Qatar, Britain, UAE, and the US. It was produced by the UNEP as well as experts from the SEI. Okay, did you need any more validation? Let me hammer a little one more in, okay? Just 4% of top companies meet UN climate target guidelines. All right? Half of the world's 2,000 biggest listed companies have set to get to net zero by mid-century, but none of them, however, just 4% of the targets meet the criteria laid down by the UN's Race to Zero campaign. A moment of silence for that. Okay, what does all this mean? All right, it means we're racing towards extinction. It means human beings are on a global suicide pact, a mission to annihilate all life on Earth. Another headline, quote, this year virtually certain to be the warmest in 125,000 years, EU scientists say. Virtually certain to be the warmest in 125,000 years, broken by 0.4 degrees Celsius, which is a huge margin. October temperature anomaly was very extreme, quote. Results continued greenhouse gases, emergence of El Nino, and warm surface waters. Globally, the average surface air temperature in October was 1.7 degrees warmer than the same period in 1850 to 1900, which Copernicus defines as the pre-industrial period. The record-breaking October now is virtually certain to be the warmest recorded. The previous record was 2016, another El Nino year. This data set goes back to 1940, but we can validate this by readings from sources such as ice cores, tree rings, and coral deposits. Okay, just for any dum-dums out there. Again, reported in The Guardian, hottest year on record. Okay. On a side note, switching over to the economy, because that news is just like, if you needed any more clarification that this is our last stable decade on Earth, that's it. All right, and I have an entire script written out about what a 2C world looks like. You don't want to live in that world. And given the accelerated rate of warming, we're going there by 2030 at this rate, right? 69% higher fossil fuel production than in line with the 2C goal. Not even a slightest reduction. Okay, this is not any surprise. My subscribers are very realist. I'm not even going to say cynical. I'm going to say they're realistically looking at human psychology and behavior, is that we grow and consume. Who else said this? Thomas Paine or somebody? That we consume until exhaustion. That's our MO, okay? But switching over to the economy, we've added $1 trillion in interest payments, surge past $1 trillion in October, which is bonkers. And a comment, someone tried to be facetious with me and say that I said that the economy was doing bad and that was propaganda. No, I meant for the average working folk. Okay, duh, the economy's doing great if you're Goldman Sachs, Walt Disney, Boeing, and Uber, or whatever, Tiffany and Company. I mean, for the average Joe, quote here, the economy's great, why are people feeling poor? Couple reasons. Inflation is a cumulative 20% since April 2020. Median wages are up only 12%. Monthly mortgage installments to buy a median house up from $1,000 to $2,300. Who can afford that? Who can afford that? And last but not least, published for some Nature and Biological Sciences on Wednesday, cheetahs can't outrun the effects of climate change. The rising temperatures are forcing them to become more nocturnally, putting them in greater competition with other predators such as lions, African wild dogs, and perhaps other species maybe we don't know about. Though we probably know about everything. You know what else is a cheetah? How fast I'm going to go into the armory today to put my layaway on a shotgun. Because everything I just read today tells me exactly what I need to know where this is headed. Okay? It's not any surprise. You knew we were in abrupt and irreversible climate change. You knew that the forcing that we're putting on the planet and the rate of change is 10 times faster than any other geological period, interglacial period, in planet's history. Okay, you knew this, right? But the sheer audacity and arrogance for us to continue not even just a little bit down the wrong path, but majorly down the wrong path, insinuates everything you need to know. Okay? So humans are on a global suicide mission. In case you needed any verification on that, I think this video should clear that up. And for your own personal sake, if you want to be reminded what the world we're approaching looks like, I'll put a link in the description. NASA gives an outline of a difference between a 1.5 and a 2C world, but it's even worse than that, right? 2C world, that's just icing on the cake compared to where we're headed. Try quadruple that, or octafold that. What is that word? Pentafold that. We're done. Enjoy your day. It's been Report November 8th, 2023. We just legalized here in Ohio. Just in time for Christmas. Yay! Okay, talk to you soon. See ya.